The village went to sleep, believing the price was paid. But deep in the freezing water, Abeni did not die. Filled with the endless pain of the brides trapped before her, she is angry, and she is learning to control the dark current. And she won't wait 100 years for revenge.
No, I did not join them. I swear, I did not join them.
Oh, Joe, you can't run from me. You were thirsty enough to drink my life. Now, choke on the dust.
Please forgive me. To understand how she became this nightmare, we must go back to the night of the sacrifice. The elders did not just throw Abeni into the water, they fed her to a monster. When the towering beast made of rotting wood and screaming souls rose from the river, it grabbed her. Its giant wooden claws wrapped around her body, and it dragged her down into the pitch-black, freezing water. Abeni screamed as she was pulled deeper and deeper. The water rushed into her mouth. The monster's rotting wooden fingers crushed her ribs. But as she was dragged to the bottom of the riverbed, she did not think about the pain. She thought about Kwame, her brother, the only person who tried to save her. The monster had killed him, and no one stood up for her. Abeni's fear vanished. It was replaced by a pure, burning rage. At the bottom of the river, the trapped souls inside the wooden monster felt her anger. They were the souls of the past brides. They did not want to be trapped anymore. Let the anger in, the souls whispered in her mind. Abeni opened her eyes in the dark water. Her eyes turned pitch black. The dark mark on her neck glowed with a violent green light. Instead of letting the wooden monster crush her, Abeni grabbed its rotting arms. The souls of the past brides rushed out of the wood and entered Abeni's body. The monster screamed, but it was too late. With a massive surge of power, Abeni shattered the wooden beast into pieces. The monster was dead, and Abeni was no longer human. She absorbed the ancient power of the river. The water bowed to her. She was the new master of the deep. Up on the land, the village of Ominira thought they were safe. Elder Tayo and the blind priestess Zikora told the people they had brought 100 years of peace. But 1 month later, the terror began. The sun grew violently hot. The crops burned to ash. Then the village wells pulled up only dry dirt. The villagers panicked. They ran to the great river, Odoimi. But when they got there, they fell to their knees and wept. The river was gone. Where there used to be rushing black water, there was only dry, cracked mud. The river had completely vanished overnight. Elder Tayo ran to Zikora's shrine.
Priestess, the water is gone. We gave the river what it wanted. Why is it punishing us?
The monster of the river is dead, Tayo. The bride killed it. And now, she is the river. We did not bury a sacrifice. We planted a seed of wrath. And she has taken the water away.
The village began to starve. The children cried from thirst. The people had to dig deep into the dry riverbed just to find drops of dirty water.
The village elders sent their hunters into the deep forest to find a new stream. Ojo and his men walked into the dry, dead woods. But they found a nightmare. Deep in the forest, the trees were twisted. The hunters saw traces in the dry dirt. They were human footprints, perfectly bare, but they left behind thick, black mud.
"Look at this," one of the hunters whispered. He touched the bark of a large tree. The tree was bleeding black water. Pinned to the tree with a sharp river shell was a piece of Abeni's old clothing. The hunters realized the horrible truth. She was not dead. She was walking in the woods. Suddenly, a thick, unnatural fog rolled in. The forest went pitch black. One by one, the hunters disappeared into the dark. There were no screams, only the sound of heavy water splashing. Ojo ran, but he could not escape her wrath. Abeni had tasted her first revenge.
Please forgive me.
That night, a cold wind blew through Ominira. A loud, thunderous sound shook the earth. It sounded like a mountain breaking apart. The villagers rushed out of their mud huts into the square. From the direction of the dry riverbed, a massive wall of black water was coming. But it was not normal water. It was a flood of pure, boiling black mud, filled with dead fish, broken trees, and human bones. The mud wave crashed into the village, trapping the people in waist-deep sludge. Standing on top of the black water, glowing with a terrifying green light, was Abeni. The villagers screamed. They fell into the mud, begging for mercy. Zikora the priestess stepped out of her shrine. She threw white powder into the air, chanting spells.
Go back to the dark. I command you.
Mercy! We had to do it! We had to give you to the beast! Kwame tried to help you and he got killed!
Abeni froze. Hearing Kwame's name made the mud armor around her chest crack.
You killed the only person who loved me. You killed the last reason I had to let any of you live.
Abeni slammed her fists into the ground. The black mud in the square came alive. It wrapped around the ankles of Elder Tayo and the villagers who watched her die. The ground opened up like a giant mouth and swallowed them alive. Their screams were choked by the freezing black sludge. Within minutes, the village of Ominira was completely empty. Abeni stood alone in the ruins of her home. The screams were gone. Slowly, she walked into the deep forest. She walked until she found a shallow grave covered in dead leaves. It was where the elders had dumped Kwame's body. Abeni knelt beside her brother. The heavy darkness in her eyes faded for just a moment. She looked like a 19-year-old girl again. She placed her cold, wet hand on his chest. Because she was now the master of the river, she held the power of life and death. The green light from her body flowed into Kwame. Kwame gasped. His eyes opened. He looked up, terrified. But then he saw his sister.
Abeni,
The village is gone, Kwame. You are safe now. Go far away from here and never look back.
What happened to you? Why do you look like this?
They killed you. I had no choice.
Kwame reached out to hug her, but Abeni was already turning into pure water. With a soft splash, she melted into the earth. The curse of Odo Emi was finally broken. The river returned the next morning, flowing clear and peaceful. Kwame left and never returned. But the people who live near those waters today know the rule. They do not sacrifice to the water, because deep down in the coldest part of the river, the bride is still resting. And if you ever stand by a dark river at night, and you hear the sound of wet, heavy footsteps, do not look back, because she is always watching.